we're trying to find a way to supply these critical minerals to an industry that doesn't really exist. And so that's why we're focused on lithium and nickel.
Hello and welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn De Guzman with Investing News Network. I'm speaking with Deepak Varshney, CEO of Xander Resources, about his company's lithium strategy and his take on the critical metal supply chain. Hi, Deepak.
Hey, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. So let's start off with an overview of your company, Xander Resources, including your current exploration activities.
Xander is a company with a foothold in 3 different camps, right? So we're both base and precious metals. Our focus right now is on the nickel project. We're drilling actually right by Canada Nickel Company in Timmins. So we've got a very large claim block there. But we also have 2 projects in Quebec, both in prolific camps, right? In Detour in the north and in Val d'Or in the south, right? And so Xander's story really is area code, zip code. We're well funded, so we're just wrapping up the program in Timmins, and now we're going to be proceeding with a drill program coming up this summer in Val d'Or.
Right. So you recently shared news about a strategy to explore lithium opportunities. Could you talk a bit more about that and what is the driver for this?
Yeah, I think that in this market right now, what we're seeing is that companies that focus on critical metals are really being able to drive shareholder value, right? I think that one of the biggest things we have in our company going forward is our nickel asset in Timmins, right? I think that this is something that's on the tip of everyone's tongue. For us, I've been able to find different assets which I think are priced fairly. We've been negotiating them. And I think what it does is really builds out our critical metals portfolio to make us more attractive as an investment. We're already in Quebec, right? I think a big challenge for a lot of these companies is that they are entering a space they're not familiar with. But for us, already operating in Quebec, in Ontario, this is something we're comfortable with. And I think it's a fit for our portfolio.
Right. So you talked about critical metal supply. I want to get your opinion and your views on sort of the whole supply chain, creating a domestic supply chain in North America. In your view, is there enough market dynamics or incentives to truly develop a stable domestic supply of critical minerals in North America?
Yeah, I think it's something that everyone's waking up to now, right? Even just yesterday, I believe they added brine to what considered, qualifies for flow through, right? And it just shows that the government is acting swiftly to help meet that demand, right? Right now, there's only one operating mine in the lithium space that's in Nevada, right? We've got the Tanko mine, a very small mine in Manitoba. There just isn't a supply of lithium available. And same thing goes for nickel, right? I think nickel, people often overlook that. We had a big spike earlier this year, and it was, we had a short squeeze for a reason, right? There's the same issues, right? We're trying to find a way to supply these critical minerals to an industry that doesn't really exist. And so that's why we're focused on lithium and nickel. The government's there to support us. In Ontario, they had the OTCQB program where they put up, it was $200,000 per project, support exploration for critical metals, right? With the critical metals flow through tax credit, right? So I think the incentives are there to be work in this sector. And I think the government's going to keep working on it and keep supporting us, because at the end of the day, with the geopolitical issues going on in the world, we got to have our own supply to make sure that we can meet our own needs. And that's where we're all going towards.
Right. Are there still, in your view, some gaps? So you've mentioned there's support, government's increasing support to increase critical metal supply. Do you still see some gaps that need to be addressed to sort of, get fully on board in this?
I would say I think one of the big challenges still today is permitting, right? They're really helping out with the funding side of things, right? Making it easier for juniors, we're talking about companies our size, right? We have $3.5 million market cap, but we have access to these funds. And but I think permitting is something where we're hoping they will help, right? And help, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of these projects that are getting close to development, but they're not there yet. They have different holdups. And so I think as you see government step in and help these projects move towards real production, that'll be something that's a big catalyst overall for the industry.
Right. So Xander Resources, you're an explorer, and in terms of your role, what do you see the explorer's role in this race to decarbonization, and what challenges are you still experiencing as an exploration company?
Yeah, I mean, where I see we fit in is that we're gonna get gobbled up, right? I think my strategy here with Xander, has always been, let's go find projects near majors, right? I think there's a whole different skill set involved in developing a mine than there is in finding a mine, right? So what we're hoping to accomplish, I mean, Timmins is a great example of this, right? We've got a very strategic land package right next to what's going to be a world-class company and deposit with Canada Nickel, right? And our goal here is to just drill it out, kind of be their farm team, develop the project to a stage where it's attractive to them, and then they'll want to take it on from us, right? And I think in my mind, that's the best strategy for the companies at our level, right? Obviously, we all want to grow the company to $1 billion, but I think that, to my mind, the way to deliver shareholder value is find assets, develop them to a stage, because there's a big lull also on the exploration side that comes in. Like, once you find something and you start developing it, it takes time. It's not something that happens quickly, right? And I think, end of the day, let these guys take this, and let us be, we can contribute to the decarbonization that way, right? We'll find the next mine for them to go develop.
Mm-hmm. So in addition to where you are right now, and as you mentioned in Timmins and in Quebec, are you exploring or considering other areas in Canada or North America where you see there's opportunities?
Yeah, for sure, right? So that's part of the lithium strategy, right? We want to be, I think, Ontario and Quebec are very much burgeoning centers of lithium development in the worldwide, right? We're hoping to land a project in James Bay. We've had our eyes on, been negotiating with these guys. And I think that's going to be something where we can contribute. Ontario is the same way, right? There are a number of world-class projects in Ontario, and we're trying to find assets that are priced well that we can then take on and join that story.
Great. So what does 2023 look like for the company?
Lots of drilling, right? We will have drilled off just in Timmins here 3,700 meters and change. We have 650,000 in flow through, or 628,000, sorry, in flow through for Quebec that we have to spend on our gold, primarily on our gold asset, but and then we're acquiring more projects, which I hope to drill this year too, right? So drill.
Right. So if you're talking to an investor right now, why should they be looking at Xander Resources?
I think that, the valuation here, when you look at the value proposition, we trade a market cap $3.5 million while we still have working capital over 1.2 million, right? So we've got a very healthy balance sheet. We've got 3 projects that are being drilled or have been drilled, right? With assays pending, assays coming. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of potential here, right? And so when I look at our company, I see, I look at it, I say, not to say lottery tickets, but I see you got 3 shots here at a discovery, right? And that's really what you're hoping to do. And, when you put it all together, like I said, in a $3.5 million market cap, I think there's a lot of upside to come.
That's great. Very well put. Well, thank you for joining us today and coming on board to share your company news and your insights on the market.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
And thanks everyone for watching. Join us again next time for another engaging conversation on CEO Insights.